With Marvel's latest installment, Ironheart, set to release on June 24th on Disney+, we already know that the 3-episode premiere is going to be a disastrous run for the Disney company and for the Marvel Cinematic Universe, based on what we saw with not just the first trailer, but the most recent second trailer that they debuted with. You would think that if Marvel truly wanted to hide this show, they wouldn't have put together a second trailer at all, and well, they did, and it only made things worse. This is Mike Zero. Subscribe if you're new, and like this video to see future updates. You can also follow me at Mike01. I thank you also very much for the great and kind support. Now, one thing to take note of here is that we know that Kevin Feige and Bob Iger, they are in desperate damage control mode right now over this show. That's exactly why it's going to have a 3-episode premiere, mind you. It really is very obvious. They want to get this show pretty much done and over with and move on with this, and that's why they're debuting with half the entire series on one day, and then they're gonna have one episode per week that rolls into July, just before the release of the Fantastic Four First Steps on July 25th. Now look, we also know that Marvel has been a downward spiral right now. It's been that way for a while, ever since the Marvels debuted in November of 2023. However, what's interesting here has a lot more to do with Bob Iger going into that overall damage control and really trying to go against the fans, the critics, yet again, after the debut of the second trailer. Let's get into this, shall we? Now, one thing about Ironheart that a lot of people have a lot of problems with are the acting, the way that this was executed on screen, how there's really no care in the world for this character, Riri Williams, aka Ironheart. And most of all, this is a show that nobody asked for. It's a show, after all, that is based on a comic from 2016 that was cancelled, by the way. So, moving on from all of that, with both the Disney company and Marvel already involved in multiple emergency meetings over the current status of the Fantastic Four and Ironheart, one significant development that is now active involves more to do with the Disney CEO Bob Iger striking back at both critics and fans of Ironheart after the second trailer was ratioed, creating a second wave of backlash/pushback from the fandom. Iger delivered the following in the midst of damage control. As CEO, it is my responsibility to remain direct and transparent with our shareholders and customers alike. I would like to address our latest Marvel installment, Ironheart, which debuts with a 3-episode premiere. We are more than proud to announce that this is our most diversified series to arrive on our streaming platform from Marvel. However, to acknowledge one concern for us here at the Disney company are those coming from a very intense political landscape, putting our false narratives out there about the Disney company that our motivation is to engage in any form of a culture war, which is completely untrue with our Ironheart series, which celebrates DEI. We stress those that are engaging in inflammatory comments toward a product of ours to refrain from doing so, as this ruins the experience for others. Our series Ironheart celebrates diversity, equity, and inclusion, and those that are opposed to that are coming from an obvious politically driven place that is not welcome here at the Disney company. We are more than proud with the performance of both our trailers that not only introduce our newest hero, Riri Williams, to our audience, but also one that serves as our next female hero in the Marvel Universe. We ask our customers to let the product speak for itself, as this is our greatest story yet that holds ties to one of our most valued characters, Tony Stark, Iron Man. And to address the criticism, we believe that this is coming from a very unfair and biased place that does not belong here at the Disney company. We take pride in creating entertainment for everyone and to focus strictly on the story. So guys, let me just stop right there for one moment. This is exactly why I, and many others out there by the way, call him Bob Iger. This guy lies all the time. He strings along the shareholders, strings along his customer base into the following year in hopes that they'll forget about the backlash of project after project, right? And this is the latest example. And I like to compare this show to the Acolyte series, not just based on the overall characters per se, when it comes down to the acting, when it comes down to the lackluster directing, writing, and producing, but the way that the marketing campaign is going, the way that the overall structure of the damage control really is, coming from Bob Iger and Kevin Feige, it's very much bringing us back to June of 2024, when Bob Iger was doing the same exact thing with The Acolyte, as was, of course, Leslie Headland and Kathleen Kennedy. So, moving on from all of that, we know one thing about Ironheart for sure, is that based on what we saw in the trailers alone, there are two in existence as of now. there's really nothing there that makes you care for the character of Riri Williams. Usually, trailers are meant to build up excitement. They're there to actually build up interest for the character. You want to learn more about the character going into the actual series or film, whatever it may be. It's just not there in these trailers, and we're not really seeing that at all. And so, at the very end of trailer 2, I suggest that you guys go ahead and look it out. Take a look at it. There's a very interesting moment there where it's very much cringeworthy. It kind of gives you a flashback to the Acolyte series. It's like the last little snippet at the end of trailer 2. Go ahead and check it out. It's quite a shocker. It's quite a surprise there. Anyway, let's move forward. Now, he goes on to allude further to the whole issue. I would like to thank Kevin Feige for providing us with our most diversified show and one of our most diversified characters, Riri Williams, who are evolving the comics and taking the pages into live action. Marvel fans will be met with new foes and surprises in our latest Marvel installment, but I can't stress this enough for our loyal customers to our Marvel brand to not fall for any false criticism for a series of ours that has not debuted on our platform just yet. It's about time that we here at the Disney company stand by our values for diversity, equity, and inclusion, especially with stories that focus on some of the most powerful leaders in these stories. Characters like Riri allowed us to feel very confident in the future of the MCU and where Kevin wants to take us next. It is not supportive, however, to mix criticism with politics, and that is something that we do not respect here at the Disney company. So again, he's really on the constant trope about how this is the most diversified Marvel series yet, and how Riri is the most diversified character yet at the forefront of a show like this. And when you focus on things like that, people see right through the garbage. They all do. That this is going to be an actual series with no story, a story that will be non-existent. It's just going to be the character accomplishes anything and everything with ease. That's basically what happened in the Acolyte show. It's what happened in other iterations out there of the Marvel Cinematic Universe and Star Wars, etc., etc. We've seen this time and time again. It's a repeated cycle, and Bob Iger keeps going on the same exact, thing about how diversity this, equity that, and inclusion, etc. This is nothing more than to please the top 3 shareholders, BlackRock, Vanguard, and State Street. Now, we went over that strategy, and we talked about this like a week ago in case you guys missed it. Let's recap. Is that their strategy is that they want to put out some non-agenda driven projects and agenda driven projects in hopes that the non-agenda driven projects will create enough revenue, or create enough, box office metrics to contribute that to other projects that will be agenda driven, that will double down on DEI. So it's going to be a whole back and forth scenario with Disney, and I don't think that anything is over when it comes to their overall views on DEI. They're just trying to hide it better. They're trying to actually balance it out a little bit to trick the audience. That's what it all comes down to. Anyway, I would love to hear what everyone has to say about the trailer, the second trailer for Ironheart. What do you guys have to say about that? And what do you guys have to say about Bob Iger really going on about DEI yet again? And if you guys did enjoy the content for today, make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel, and I will catch you guys later.